The reason you're listening to this is because you're probably not so clear. You don't have clarity in your life about what you really want. You're waffling around. You're uncertain. You're undecided, as many freshmen are when they enter university. They're undecided. They don't know what the hell they want. And so they're wasting the most critical period of their life doing things without understanding what they're doing or why they're doing it. Make sure you don't fall into this trap. Right now, all of your time and attention should be focused on not hanging around with your friends or playing video games, but sitting alone in a room by yourself for hours, contemplating every single day for weeks and for months, what do I want out of my life? And then what will be required to get what I want, to get that thing that I want out of my life? How am I going to get there? What's a realistic plan? And of course, look, I was in your shoes at your age to a certain degree. I was unclear exactly about what I wanted from university. I first entered Undecided, but then I also quickly went into aerospace engineering, spent 2 years doing that. Then I switched 2 years into it to philosophy. And I'll tell you more about this story as we go deeper in this episode. But anyways, just the point of it is that I know what it's like to struggle with this. And of course, it's difficult sometimes to know what you want out of life, because to know that, you have to have experience. And at your age, you're so immature and so inexperienced that you don't really know what you want. And many of the things that you might even think that you want, you discover later that that's not what you really want. And part of that is just trial and error, testing stuff out, and seeing that it isn't fit for you. But when you're going to do that, you have to do it. See, there's a sort of an unconscious, lazy way of going about that. And then there's a conscious, proactive way of going about that. If you just let things unfold organically, following the path of least resistance, and you do it unconsciously, not proactively, then what's going to happen is you're going to probably waste the next 5-10 years of your life just, making all sorts of moves that end in dead ends. And they don't lead you anywhere, and you're going to waste the most precious years of your life. Right now, you've got abundant health, if you've been fortunate with that. You've got energy. You're young. This is the time to really invest that into building the foundation for the rest of your life here. So the first thing I want you to see is that if you had that kind of crystal clarity about what you really want from your life, these sorts of questions wouldn't even arise for you. It would be very easy for you to make decisions about whether you should go to college, what major you should select, which classes you should select, and so forth. That would be very easy because you would know exactly what your end goal was. And then you wouldn't be listening to me probably. So you're probably unclear. And that is one of the things that you need to, one of your meta lessons here is clarity. Clarity in life is critical. We're not just talking about how to get through college here. We're talking about how to ace all of life. To ace all of life, you need to be crystal clear about what you want out of life. Otherwise, how can you get it? When even you don't know, how can other people give it to you? How can other people help you? How can all the resources that are necessary to make that happen come into your awareness if you're not clear and insistent about what you want? So the first lesson here is spend a lot of time contemplating and just trying to become as clear as possible. Now, you can't just do it all in your head. I'm not saying that you can just sit alone in a room and contemplate for the next 40 years, into the future about what your life should be and plan it all out. That's not what I'm saying. This is an organic process that will have to unfold over 5 or 10 years or even more for you as you're trying to figure yourself out, figure out who you are and what you want out of life. And part of that is going to be making some tests and having some failures and going through various trials. You need experience. So exposing yourself to more experience is crucial here. It's crucial. But also, it's not enough just to go bumbling into various things without contemplating. You can accomplish a lot of work here and save yourself years and even perhaps decades and also tens of thousands of dollars just by sitting alone in a room and contemplating a little bit more than the average person is willing to do. See? Don't go looking to your friends in school for good role models about how to set up one's life. They don't know what the hell they're doing. See, they don't know what the hell they're doing. And your parents probably also don't know what the hell they're doing. And probably even your teachers don't know what the hell they're doing. They're stuck in some sort of job that's just paying the bills. That's not going to be sufficient for you to really excel in life. What we're talking about here is excelling in life. What we're talking about here is success, creating a deeply fulfilling life for yourself. And in order to do that, you need to understand yourself deeply, which you don't. You might think that, well, but Leo, I understand myself. I know what I like, what I don't like. No, you don't. You don't. At your age, you can't possibly know all that yet. You don't have sufficient experience. Here's another critical insight for you about this topic. Each one of us, even though we can look similar and we can think that we're all human, and of course we are, we're similar in many ways, but each one of us is also very unique. We have a unique constellation of personality traits, likes and dislikes, strengths and weaknesses, and God-given gifts and talents that it's our life's work here. Just to be born is to undertake this life's work of discovering these strengths and weaknesses that you have, discovering your own personality, becoming intimately familiar with that, and then constructing a life that is in alignment with that and not at odds with it. Because if your life is going to be the kind of life that most people lead, then your life and your career will be at odds with each other. Your unique strengths and gifts will not be fully actualized in the work that you do. And what we're talking about here is ultimately work. You're going to university, you're selecting a major, and then you got to somehow connect what you're going to be studying in university to the work that you're going to be doing after you get out of university. So we're talking about a career path for you here. And really beyond a career path, we're talking about a life purpose. See, you don't just want a career that pays you well. That's not going to be fulfilling enough for you. No amount of money is sufficient to compensate you for 50 years of working in a career that you don't like and that you're not passionate about. You need to have deep passion about your career, whatever that is. And don't let anybody tell you what your career should be. Only you can decide that. Your parents can't decide that for you. One of the traps you're going to likely fall into is you're going to try to pick a career that your parents are going to pressure you into picking because it's one of those careers that's very kind of bankable and tangible, like engineering, programming, becoming a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, this sorts of stuff. See, for these careers, these are well-trodden careers. These careers have existed for hundreds of years. The university system is well designed to prepare you for entering one of these careers, but the problem is that if you're lukewarm about any of these careers, it's not going to work for you. You got to look for something that you're deeply, deeply passionate about. And passion here, don't let anyone fool you. Passion is not a luxury. Passion is an absolute necessity because we're talking about 50 years of working in this career. You can't excel at something for 50 years when you're not deeply passionate about it. Actually, by picking the career that you think is going to be the most profitable for you, but that you're lukewarm about, you're not passionate about, you're actually over the next 50 years, you're going to lose millions of dollars of value. You see? Because if you would have picked the career that you were really passionate about, that you could spin off and you could make millions of dollars doing that because your passion is what drives you. If you lose your drive and your motivation because you're working some dead-end job as a wage slave, then you're losing so much of your human potential. You have enormous creative human potential. All of us do. The problem is, how do you tap into it? That's what's difficult. And nobody teaches you how to do this, which is why I created the course, my life purpose course. 25 hours on this. There's a lot to say about it. I had to research all this stuff by myself through lots of trial and error over a period of 10 years. See? But nobody in your high school teaches you this stuff. Your parents don't teach you this life purpose stuff. Even in university, they won't teach you this life purpose stuff. So you have to spend more time figuring out who you are as a personality. You're not even aware of your own personality yet at your age. Once you start to figure that out, then you can start to figure out what will and won't work for you, and then you can work with your passions, and then you can start to tailor a career around that. Make your career and basically tailor your entire life specifically to who you are. That's what's going to lead to the best life possible for you.